What's up, everybody? Welcome to yet another exciting episode of our Blue Zone Conversations powered by Durex. My name is Toke. This is TM Pod. It is my podcast, and I have with me today one of my very good friends. This is how he talks. Hey, baby, what up? How you doing? The very first time I met you, we went to school together. Apart from that, but then when we saw each other again after
many
years,
yes.
I said to him, I said, "You have a voice for radio." I promise you, babe, I still think you should have a late night show. You know those love doctors sort of thing. It's the month of love. I think it suits you.
Come on.
Look at how you sound.
Because I first of all, I don't know that radio pays that well.
The money man.
Does it? No.
Well, it does. Well, you think there's always been a long-standing conversations about radio and paying. And my radio career wasn't that bad. I earned,
no, it wasn't.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it also gave me opportunities to earn more, i.e., people get to know you, and brands want to work on your slots, and you make a lot of money, not even from voiceovers, but from selling slots of your shows to brands.
I hear you. But you've always said it, you know. And maybe I'll think about this.
And Durex would be happy to jump on because it's a late night show. So it's going to be like, hey, what's up, ladies of the night? Tell me your problems. I'll be like, hi, doctor, my man did this, he did that. And then you'll be like, because that's how you sound.
So it's going to be...
Can I give you like a...
Deyemi on the radio, powered by Durex.
There you go. Speak things into existence, my friend. There you go. You never know. And I'll be your first caller. I'll be like, it's the month of love. Like, why is it that men just don't understand what we women need? Like, what do you think we women need, love doctor? Tell me.
Me. I don't have the answers to any love questions. I've been at this relationship game for so many years, but the questions are, it feels like year on, year in, year out, it looks like the questions are even more than the answers. So you think you've scaled through some things, and then the next thing comes along and you're like, you really don't know anything, And I think maybe that's what people need to know, You kind of have all the answers.
You see why he should have this show? Look, now, that's the kind of guy that everyone will want to follow. You're not acting like you know it all. You're like, we're all learning together. Now, calm down, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to be your I know it all love doctor. I'll just tell you that we're working this thing out, right?
Yeah. And relationships, man. Like, how do you...
Have you been able to do this for over 10 years?
I don't know. Like, I literally woke up and I was like, wait, it's been 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I tell people going to the gym, which I kind of I'm doing a bit more.
I was getting into that, but since you plunged in there, finish so I can...
and relationships feels like the same thing. You have an idea of the kind of body you want. That's the way you need to have the kind of an idea of the kind of relationship you want. You have to go there and do the work, and it's painful. It's a painful process, but as you lift one weight, for you to get closer to your vision, you have to lift heavier weights. So you keep lifting heavier weights to become the version of yourself or your relationship that you want to see. I think most times people, for several other reasons, and there's some very valid reasons why you should end the relationship. But I think sometimes we short circuit the process, and we don't follow through to the point where we start to see the kind of results that we want. Again, this is an ideal situation where you have two consenting adults who respect one another and are ready to commit and love one another. In that case, yes, there's still going to be, that battle to go through.
Do you think that there can be proper healing after, say, for instance, like cheating, for instance? Because when I got divorced, I remember a friend of ours was like, I was so sure you guys were going to stick it out. And I thought you guys could have made such a solid unit if you did, because, people like to respect people who walk through the fire, and there are people that can make a comeback from that. And I've always just had that question in the back of my mind that, is when people, like, say, if there's been infidelity, do you think that people can truly heal from it and the relationship can be the same again?
It's a tough question, but no, and I answered it this way. I'll use this example. When I was never going to get married, I didn't believe marriage could work for me, right? So I'd resign myself to certain things. But then I remember one time saying to myself, if I was going to get married, what kind of person would I get married to? And I wrote down the list. And I realized everything I wrote down was what I was aspiring to be. The kind of human being that I was trying to be was literally the person I was looking for. So, of course, that meant I needed to work on myself a little bit more. And then someone materialized into my life, and she just fit, that image.
But you see, what you said right there is so powerful. Writing down what you want, you didn't realize that you were writing for yourself and not necessarily
Exactly.
for somebody else. Because
Exactly.
a lot of us write those lists and we're focused on that, what the person has to be, and not
Exactly.
on
Not on who
who we
we
are.
should be,
Whew,
who we
that's
should
so
be,
that's
who we should be.
powerful.
And part of what I did was, again, you get married to a young lady, she looks beautiful, figure, everything on point. And then at some point she's gonna have kids for you. There are gonna be changes. I think a lot of people don't see that beforehand. I forced myself to see that and to think about it. What would happen, you know, if this were the circumstances, would I still have these feelings? Or how do I still manage to keep these feelings together, and still be sexually attracted to my wife? And I actually thought those things through. And it's the same thing with infidelity. And see how I went round to get to this. The same thing with infidelity. There are certain questions you need to answer, I think, before you get into a relationship. And it's you paint a scenario and figure out how does this work for me. And to say that, to add to that, is that prior to getting married, I asked myself this question about infidelity. What would I do if I found out that my partner had been unfaithful to me, um, had cheated on me? And as I thought about it, it occurred to me, where does that phrase, cheated on you, come from? Oh, he cheated on me, she cheated on me. Where is it? Because I'm thinking you have two people in a relationship who add value to each other's lives. Now, if I bring value to this relationship and you do something that takes away the value that I bring into your life away from you, you haven't cheated me. You've cheated yourself out of a relationship with me.
Oh yeah, God, that's
You know,
it. He's a big good. You see what I mean?
this is why I didn't know what to come here.
I never thought about it like that.
No, and so that was the most liberating, most empowering thought that I could. It's still you were hurt,
Yeah.
because I've been there, and I but with that as the foundation, I could find healing. It wasn't a me thing. I didn't own the cheating. It was I just left it where it was. And I found healing after that. But again, to answer your question directly, is that I do believe that you can find healing, but it takes an overwhelming amount of love.
Or work.
Work, love is work, my dear. Commitment and showing up for a person every single time, or as much as you humanly can, is work. And I think that male or female, whatever the circumstances that you find yourself where one party has been unfaithful, the solution really is to just love. If the
I
person
think I
wants,
just shut
yeah,
down.
no, I think the shutting down is fine. What I do believe that if this is coming from your spouse, he had to counter that shutting down with so much love. He had to break down that wall that had been built up because of what had happened with so much love. And so the answer for me is you just have to pour everything. If you truly love the person.
Yeah.
If not, maybe sometimes you can just walk
Yeah.
away. You
Yeah.
guys just
Because I mean, now before I used to be like, oh, cheating is a deal breaker. It is still for me. I mean, I people always say things like, oh, don't say that. How can you walk away from something because the person cheated? And I'm like, I can because I know how loyal I was. And I think for me, it was a case of all the hard work through the years, and it's like you get to a point where you just get tired. So I think my question for you also is like, how do you not get tired of doing the work? Like sometimes I'm just like, dude, like I want to work on another part of my life. I
yeah,
don't want to work on a relationship right
right.
now. Do you know what I mean? And I can only hope that how we feel for each other will carry us through this phase. Because there are times that you are up for working. It's like, babe, let's communicate.
Oh,
Babe,
Lord.
let's go to the cinema. Babe, let's have sex 4 times a week. Babe,
Yeah.
let's do this. And there are times like, fuck that. I don't want to work. I want to
4
work on
times a week is work?
4 times a week is too much.
Oh, wow.
You don't think so?
Okay.
Please, like, I beg. I was not one of those. I mean, really, how many times do you guys have sex a week? 6 times a week?
Well, as long as you have
What is going on in your home?
you have daylight, you have
You
nighttime.
guys are like rabbits. What? 4 times a week is a lot. Be lucky if you even find sex once a week with me.
No, come on. Don't even say that.
Why?
That's
I'm
not
being
true.
honest.
That can't be true.
What do you mean?
My dear, wake up, oh.
I have to be shagging the man every day.
Every day.
What do you mean?
Morning, afternoon. How many times did you feed?
Morning, afternoon,
As
night,
much as you
Deyemi.
eat.
That's your rabbit. What does that mean? Okay, let me be. At least 4 times a week is fair.
Look, there's no timetable for this thing. There might be times you go weeks.
Don't you think that place needs to rest?
That no. That was what it was made for.
I don't want to be married. Deyemi's
No,
wife. When next
listen.
I see you at an event, I'll be like,
No, hold
sis.
Hold up.
I get it.
First of all, that's what it was made for. You don't stop breathing because you're trying to rest your nose, or
sore.
you don't stop eating because you're trying.
When you say morning, afternoon, night, it does get sore. Like, why am I going to? You want me to be walking for?
And
like,
that's
hello.
that's if it's So again, there's no set rules, right? You work with what you have, but the default is that you should be having sex every time.
So you think sex?
And
is
then
like
if there is, so you're busy, you're working, you're traveling, you're tired, or you're stressed
out. Do you believe
out.
like in sexting or like phone sex when you guys are apart, like video sex?
Yeah.
Do you think it's healthy for relationships?
Yeah, I think so, definitely.
So but I think you're like more of an action guy. That doesn't really work.
And because it doesn't get me there, so yeah. But I mean, it could work.
Okay, so I probably need some sex. I need to find out where to learn how to have sex more. Because you're really making me feel bad. So I mean, you touched on something that I find that people don't talk about enough, and I respect you so much for going there. It's the fact that we are open to saying the only constant thing in life is change.
Right.
We're open to saying that all day, all long. But then when it comes to like relationships and marriages, we want to stay the same.
Yeah.
When we're afraid of our partners changing, because some of us are too scared to imagine what that means for the next phase of our lives.
Exactly.
And I'm going to say this, like I sometimes I feel like not every love is meant to be forever. I just feel like it's for a season, because sometimes you expire from who you used to be while you guys met. And now you're a different person and you want to pursue different things.
Right.
So when I see people like you who are in it for like, you've done a decade, it makes me wonder, like, how do you stop things from changing? Or if they change, how do you adapt to the change? And how doesn't it affect what you have?
Let me give you some insight from my life. As I said, I never thought I was going to get married. And getting in, divorce was an option. And I stated it very clearly, because I felt if you don't understand that divorce is a possibility, if you bury your head in the sand and you don't understand divorce is a possibility, then you wouldn't do what it takes or what's required to avoid it from happening. My wife said, we die here. Her own was, we die here. Like, divorce is not an option. Guess who thinks divorce is not an option now?
You.
Me.
And she
guess who's like, man, dude, whatever, man, I'm ready. And this is every year for the first maybe 6-7 years. I promise you, we had a near divorce type scenario where she's like, I'm done, and I'm going, yeah, sure, I'm done too. But we always found our way back. And I think one of the things that we were able to do was, what that worked for us was that we were always able to have a project or something that we're working towards together. So having a common vision sort of helped us to, so even if you're fighting, right, there's stuff that needs to be done, and then you have to do it. And in doing these things, we sort of remind each other of the fact that this person is committed to me. This person is committed to to me as well. And I think that helps. Well, my wife is the angel in our relationship, so as far as I know. And
are you worried these days? Because there's loads of, like, in the streets, there's loads of, like, you hear every day about women, cheating and women giving men children that are not theirs, because that's kind of very rampant. And a lot of people are like, wow, fear women. I've heard fear women so
Yeah,
much in the month of
yeah,
January
yeah,
and
yeah. We
February
hear
that I'm
that a
just like,
lot.
shut the fuck
We
up.
hear that a
We've been
lot.
dealing with you guys for so long. So yeah, fear us.
No,
Okay.
so let's not forget the fact, just to address that last part. Not This has always been happening. This has always been happening. It's not. This is not the generation where people started stepping out, men and women, right? It's been happening for decades. Okay, so the only difference is hardly would you ever find a man who fesses up to the fact that his partner. Meanwhile, if a man steps out, the whole community is going to find out about it.
What you said.
Right. So
do you feel like men are forgiving of cheating if it's quiet? Like if it's just me and you, no way, no the matter. We
men
go
are
bury him inside this
such
house.
deep wells, I think.
Wow.
Are such deep wells that it would it could it could it could it could break you, right? But that process is like you trying to just dam something up, dam up a river, right? And you just want to hold it in and keep it from the world. It's, I guess, ego has a lot to do with it as well. It can be quite damaging for men and women, but I think men are
I think
somewhat more
society
sensitive.
makes it more accepting for the men when they step out. So the women deal with the shame, but it's almost like people are
Who's
quick to say,
society?
what I'm trying to say is that it's been passed down from our mother's time. You find women sometimes who go and complain to the guy's mother or have a community of other women, and she's like, my husband is cheating on me. And their response is, well, whose husband is not? Do you know what I mean? So that somehow comforts, it gives a bit of soft landing, whereas when it's the man, if he sat with a group of friends at a bar and he's like, yo, my wife is cheating, half of them will be like, that she gotta go, she for the streets.
Yeah,
you
I know,
can't
I know.
take that. You know what I
know.
mean?
I think again, this whole society thing, that's why I asked, who is society? We are society, and if you say society did this, then men and women are equally responsible for wherever we find ourselves today. I do think that we need to reevaluate personally what we allow society to, or how we allow society to influence us, and what we allow it to dictate. So I would never fall, like, I don't do society things. I don't listen to, so gender roles, all those things. It's you and the person you're in a relationship with, how you handle your relationships, whatever challenges that you're facing. That's up to the both of you. It really is.
So, I mean, this Valentine's season, I want to ask you, what do you think that women want? Like, are you a Valentine's guy? First, to start with, because I have my thoughts about Valentine's. But are you the kind of guy that goes all out and makes it like really special every year?
So I try to do special more than just on Valentine's Day, but I would go just a tad bit extra for Valentine's. Yes.
So what do you have planned? Tell me.
There's a little getaway.
You see, this is what I mean. Like, I like a thoughtful man. I like a man. Sometimes people think it's like, it's like the big stuff sometimes, which is good. But I realize that sometimes it's also is what you just said right now. You see her working hard, she deserves a break. And you're thinking to yourself, babe, you know what? I've been working hard at the gym. I'm gonna love on you on this trip. You're just gonna forget. Like, that is such a beautiful thing. And one of the reasons why I thought it was important for us to do this is because all around there's so many crazy stories about why relationships are not working and divorce and this and that. It's nice to see people who are not perfect, because that's one of the things I admire about you. Not many people will sit here and say, for every year in the last 7 years, we've tried to exit this marriage. Some people sit down and be like, if you do this, you get this. If you do that, you get this. So it's important for you to let people know that as well. So people who aspire for what you have, because many people see what you do, like in our profession, and think that it's harder as a married person.
It is.
Okay.
It actually is.
Well, you make it seem so easy because you're always posting about your wife, and it's like, girls, get out of my DMs. This is the one. She's the queen. Look right here.
Actually,
somebody somewhere is like,
they're
the ones that cheat the most.
No, so here's the deal. First of all, I try to keep my family, away from social media as much as I can. But there are just some moments that are so beautiful. You want to share it, even like I worried about the 10th year anniversary thing. I didn't want to share it at first because I was like, yo, I don't want to come here, you know how it is. And then people are picking something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, you know what? This is a good thing. It might encourage somebody out there. And I made it perfectly clear that first of all, I'm not perfect. Like I'm so flawed. I think 80% of in fact, the person who's carrying 80% of the weight in terms of who I'll say is trying, is my wife. Like she's such a great person. Like I wouldn't be married to me for 10 years. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't be, and because I know that, it's like we're course correcting all the time. Like if I gaff here, I correct, like I've learned to apologize properly now. Not I'm sorry, no, no.
Teach us. How do
I
you
break it
apologize
down.
properly?
Where's my phone? I will just read the one I sent her the last time.
Please read it. Pause. Can I get his phone? So that if you are trying to toast me and you don't know how to apologize, over for you, mate. But remember, what did you say? What did you do first?
No, there was some stuff that we hadn't resolved.
Okay.
And then this always happens, where you don't resolve stuff
and it comes back somewhere else.
And then something else happens on top of that, and then somebody blows up, And so, I was like, yo, I felt this had been done and then this is coming again. And I just picked it up and I was like, this is wrong. And I think I spoke too much. She gets up in the morning. I'm still sleeping. She leaves for work. And usually she'll wake me up to say goodbye. She leaves for work. I wake up and I'm like, oh, snap. She didn't say goodbye.
You're in the doghouse now.
Yeah. So I pick up my phone at about 9, 10 a.m. She's at work. And I send her a note saying, look, I didn't mean what I said yesterday night. I was upset because there was some stuff that was unresolved. And that I truly, truly apologize. And I'm really sorry. Something simple. But it wasn't just I'm sorry. No, but, I felt she felt it was heartfelt, and she replied.
Oh,
And she replied. Yeah, so
that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now let's get her to learn how to apologize too.
I was about to say, like, I'm not a great apology. Like, women, I think we kind of like rather mop the ocean.
Yeah.
And then we show you in ways.
I
like,
know.
We don't necessarily say, but we show you we're sorry.
But I'm like, no, my dear. No, you can't. Are you hungry?
Show more.
Please.
Or at least I send you some food at work. You know what I mean?
Something, yeah.
Or at least I throw on a nice lingerie. That's an apology.
Yeah, no.
At least I can go down on you. It doesn't happen all the time.
Well, that could work.
That's an apology.
You might not. That one could definitely work.
Exactly.
Like, I'll take that.
So you see why I don't do it often? I save it for special moments. When I'm wrong, then I'm going to be like, okay, today my mouth is going to work. Wow. Right. Do all the exercises. And I'm like, okay, let's go there, I would like to know, what are the things that you can, I'm not saying advise, but, in your own words, like for people who are probably watching right now and thinking, I love my partner, but is not my favorite person right now. I like my girl, but she is not my favorite person right now because she is annoying as hell. Like, how do we get to the good part?
When you find out, you can tell me.
I like that.
Yeah, you can tell me. I would say though that I don't believe that love is a feeling or just a feeling. I think love is action. Love is what you do. And so whether I feel a certain type of way towards my wife or or she feels a certain type of way towards me, it doesn't change the fact that I will act in love. I may not feel in love, but I will act in love. And sometimes the action of love sort of like it draws out that feeling of love from you. Like as I act in love towards you, I start to feel love towards you. And if you start to feel me, on that level, you start to feel that feeling of love, then you start to act in love.
Boy, you are in the wrong profession. I honestly think if you bottle up this love shit and selling traffic, people gone by. Like acting, honestly, I
done.
really feel you need to.
I'm done.
I see
I'm
on
done.
a book, 10 Ways to Love, Act of Love, Service of Love. I promise you, you need to get that radio show. I think that we learn how to act or love from what we saw growing up.
Yeah.
Do you think it plays a huge role?
Yes, but it does.
Okay.
I agree. Absolutely. But Yoruba say omotababi atunraibi, right? So that's not even an excuse. Because yes, you've learned from maybe parents or maybe people around you who are influential to your life. Your responsibility is to search for truth. That's why I question everything. I once questioned the existence of God. And because of that question, I could do some research or even some soul searching. And I came to an understanding that was, unique to me. So I can defend whatever beliefs or whatever, reasons I have for doing whatever it is that I do because I think these things through, not because of what somebody has told me or what society, quote unquote,
Or in
is
quote
saying.
unquote, are you one of those people? What do you feel about those people who blame everything on their zodiac signs? I'm a Taurus. That's what Taurus shit do. I'm a Virgo.
It's a cop out.
Okay, that's what Virgos do. I'm a Scorpio.
No.
This is a sign of a Scorpio.
It's the same as it's the same thing when people say that it's just simple as, oh, this is who I am. That's who I. Yeah. No, you can change. You can change, and you did mention it earlier on that people don't want people are afraid of their partners changing. Afraid of their partners changing in a certain direction. Growing might be the word, because they want them to change for their benefits. Oh, you don't pick up your clothes, you should pick it up. Change for me. The other part is a lot of people are not ready to change for other people. They're not ready to make the adjustments, right?
Change and growth, because I guess what I was trying to say was also the growth part.
Yes, which seems to be more common. A man who's waiting to receive pleasure or a woman who's lying there. Which seems to be more common? Which would you think is more common?
The man that is waiting to receive pleasure.
Okay, well, that's one, the second part, now you made me forget it, because there's absolutely no way that's true.
What do you mean there's no way that's true?
I think we have more women who just lie down and wait to be pleasured, right? And I think Nigerian men do a lot of work. We're dealing with Nigerian women because they have been told that, you shouldn't be this, you shouldn't do that, that makes you this, that makes you that, and they grow with those thoughts. Maybe sometimes when you get to your later years, like your mid-30s or so, then you begin to be more expressive.
So maybe that's what's happened. No, I was never the girl that would even just lay there, because I don't believe in faking an orgasm. I don't believe in, it's just it's a complete waste of time. But I just feel like lately I find out that sometimes it's like, okay, you might arrive at your destination before I do. It's not, it shouldn't be over it. Like sometimes I also feel like even in the act of like foreplay, they don't really extend foreplay. They just want it to be like ready to go.
Yeah.
And it's like, so for as long as you've been on this earth, in your own conclusion, what do you think women want?
Ultimately, women want someone they can rely on.
I was about to say someone who can show up for us, but that means the same thing.
Someone they can rely on. Yeah. I think that's the ultimate. It might be that they misinterpret it to something else sometimes, and they go for that. They see a guy who's built, who's muscular, 6 packs and everything, and they think that's reliability or strength, because strength and reliability seem to be the same.
Yeah, they're fighting for space.
Yes, exactly. And then there are some who think it's the finances, because that gives you security. That seems like reliability. But at the end of the day, the essence of it is, I think, and I stand corrected. Women really just want someone they can rely on, someone they can lean on sometimes.
What's like your most memorable like Valentine? Like if you think back all the years, not necessarily, it doesn't also have to be like with your woman, like all your life. Like what has been like your most memorable Valentine?
It's gonna sound stupid, but I don't know why it hit me different. It was, I think, in 2019, I think, or 2020, right before COVID. I had been doing everything, as everything that I take responsibility for, right? And I tend not to take care of myself. as much as I try to take care of people that I love. And I had this phone, this phone that just had smashed it on set. It would drop here, drop there,
You had seen
patch it
better
back to get
days.
seen better. It was dead, and it was a tiny gesture. She got me a new phone.
Oh.
And I knew that I would never. Like I've got my mom, my dad, her mom, her dad is late. My kids, my siblings. I've got people to think about.
Yeah.
Before I start thinking about myself, and the fact that she must have been thinking about it for a while to say this guy wouldn't do this thing. He's
No,
not
don't
going
do
to
it.
do it if
Yeah.
you don't. Things have changed. Now we're in the age of us. We take care of people, but we take care of ourselves too. It's very important. Especially for your mental health. But that one thing she did, I'm never gonna forget it.
I feel like you touched on something that a lot of men struggle with. I feel like a lot of men, because you're not the first person that's saying this to me. She finally saw me, or she did something, or took care of me because I wasn't taking care of myself. And I feel like, sometimes we don't give you guys enough credit, and I know that I'm literally like pulling out my wig to say this, but I know there are good men out there, and it's interesting when I see a guy appreciate the littlest gesture because they're not used to getting anything. Do you know what I mean? Men are used to being the ones to give, 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 give without even thinking
I'll
of
tell you
getting
this.
anything.
Yeah. I can tell you for a fact, having had hundreds or maybe thousands of hours of conversations with men, that is right on the mark. A lot of men don't feel that they're seen, you know. And we might be a bit macho about it too. And we might hide even our feelings of being we want to be desired. We want to be appreciated.
Have I ever given a guy Valentine's present? Oh
Have
yeah, of
you?
course I have.
Of course you
Of
must
course I
have.
have. I have.
You actually strike me as a lover, as somebody who maybe sometimes with your eyes closed, and love is not blind. Sometimes with your eyes closed, yes, you
That
would,
was shade.
you would love.
You think I'm being some dodgy guys?
I get the impression you have. I get the impression you have. And listen, we've had conversations in the past, so
Oh
this is not coming from today. Yeah.
my
So
With my
sometimes
eyes
you
closed.
just close your eyes and be like, oh, I'm in love. But you open now.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I get a feeling that you're that
Yeah.
type of
And
person.
I think that
Yeah.
women also, to be fair, like it's not. I know the internet is full of struggle stories of will you pay for my Uber or will you? I try to encourage like women who have followed me for a very long time. The first person to invest in is yourself because I also believe. Listen, when we were younger and we're kind of ignorant, we believed in yes, the man had to do, the man had to do, the man had to do. But I feel like there's certain things about you that will change when your capacity changes as
Yeah.
well.
If you were to remove material needs or
Mhm.
even sexual desire or anything physical from relationships or marriage, if that didn't exist, what would be the purpose? Because we were built to be together, right? We're built to interact, to be in relationship with one another. What do you think the purpose of a relationship would be between man and a woman?
I don't think there'll be any purpose to it.
You don't think so?
I don't. What are we going to be talking about? Conversations?
I think that we have unique strengths
Okay.
that when we come together makes us better people. So it's like when they say when two
Oh, when two come together
when
is better than one.
yeah, yes, that the sum of the parts is I forget the exact thing, but it's somehow about it revolves around when you bring two things together that the whole thing that you get is more than the two things you brought together.
And then the part of the
Right?
Bible that says one can fight, but two together
Yes,
can
I
pull
was not
down.
trying to quote.
It's
I was
okay.
not
We,
trying
we,
to
we
quote
quote the
that,
Bible over here as well.
but yes, because that thing is so default. Some people don't even understand. You just quote it. But I think that those strengths, when they come together, make for a better life. I do honestly think so. I think men tend to be, generally speaking now, men tend to be zero focused on things, and women tend to be able to see, with it's called this peripheral view, and how they say women can multitask and do, generally speaking, do those things. And I think that when there's a vision, when two people come together and they have a vision about something, that the man, if he's the one who has that strength, predominantly. And if it's the woman, she's allowed to lead them towards that point, while the other person takes care of the other things. You know, and it's kind of like having a sword and a shield. Yeah. So one is a sword, the other is a shield.
Yeah. That's been one of the most engaging. Actually, I've been doing this for a minute now, but I like this episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You've been amazing.
No shame.
I mean, I'm now going to start looking for where I can sign up for sex classes. Because right now, Deyemi shamed me for my 4 times a week. No. And whenever I see madam in the street, I'm going to be like, sis,
just clap for her.
No wonder her smile is always, always smiling.
Just, that slow clap and that builds up. And just be clapping for her.
As she's smiling, I'll be like, oh, I get it now. But thank you so much for coming. This has been such an amazing conversation. Thank you, Durex. And of course, we do have a giveaway because we love you and it is the love season. Make that love season an everyday season of your life, please. Not just one day in the calendar. I do have to play a game with you before you go, okay? I'm going to ask you some questions because I like to do this to know how knowledgeable you are about protection. Are you ready, my friend?
You want to know how knowledgeable I am about protection after 10 years. Okay, keep going.
Well, the brain is still active, isn't it? So, which Durex product has the following characteristics? Listen to the characteristics. So, because you seem like one of those guys that used to go to chemists. Oh, boy, you get this, you get that, give me this. Okay. A, gives an extra intense feeling.
Right.
B, uniquely designed with raised dots to enhance stimulation. And of course, C, specially created for an explorative experience. So I'll also give you, those are the characteristics, right? So I'll give you options, then you can pick. So 1, Durex Feather Light. 2, Durex Pleasure Me. 3, Durex Performer. And 4, Durex Extra Safe.
It's not Feather Light. Okay. It's not Extra Safe. What are the two in the middle?
I like you. So it's Performer and Pleasure Me. Performer. Uniquely designed with dots to enhance stimulation. Is it ribbed or dots?
Dots.
Yes.
Dots.
Especially, Performer. I'm helping you because I even read something that will help you. Specially created for explorative experience. Right. Either Performer or Pleasure Me.
Pleasure Me.
You were correct. Pleasure Me. Because I helped you with that dots and
what I
did. So my present to you, even if you don't need it, because after 10 years, but I shall give you what I think you might need since they have non-stop sex. A lube. I'm going to pack it nicely because I need my sis to be well oiled up and well nice because you seem like you're like ready to go.
Thank you so much for being so caring.
I mean, come on. Okay. I have to look out for my sis, not you. Love you so much. This has been such an engaging, interesting. I laughed. I took off my glasses. I love this episode. I cannot wait for it to come.
You look amazing, by the way.
Thank
always,
you.
Always.
You too. So this gym matter is really, really showing.
Well, we're trying.
I love
this 2023. We shall.
Hey, fire!
Yeah, we're ready.
Coming. And I'm looking forward to that being lead role in a movie. I think it'll be nice.
I think we'll work well together.
Yeah. All right, guys, make sure you tune in to our next conversation. This has been Toke Moments, and of course, it's our Blue Zone Conversations powered by Durex.